Making the headlines, Governor Soludo of Anambra State inaugurates a new board for ANSIPA. Anambra government assures people affected by flood of adequate medical services. Nigeria hosts the Nigeria-Saudi Joint Commission in Abuja. Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah blames external actors for continued protests sweeping across Iran. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround and maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome to the news. My name is Chidimma Orangwa. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo has inaugurated a new board for Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, ANSIPA. Governor Soludo performed the function at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. The board has the chairman of Fidelity Bank PLC, Mr. Mustafa Chike Obi, as chairman, while the civil servant Chinedu Onyuke will serve as secretary. Government House correspondent AGK Abana has details.
Members include the MD CEO ANSIPA, Mr. Mark Okoye, Professor Sylvia Ifemeje, member, Mr. Ifatu Onejeme, member, Professor Ofonze Amuchazi, member, and Chiamaka Nnake, member. Others are Mr. Obinna Gonade, member, Sami Chidoka, member, Christian Udechukwu, member, Dr. Marcel Ofomata, member, and Dr. Emeka Okeke, member. Speaking shortly after performing the hybrid event, Governor Soludo described the agency as very important for government that will always play a critical and decisive role in industrialization of Anambra, prevailing on them to strictly work with the mandate of the agency. He revealed that this is an unusual and challenging time of lean resources, high debt profile, insecurity, infrastructure, and others, pointing out that it is an era where there are opportunities and threats to financing options, tasking them on thinking outside the box to explore creative opportunities to rake in some other financing options. The governor further noted that Anambra has the largest concentration of entrepreneurs, but the major missing link is not having a livable, prosperous homeland, stressing that it is time for ANSIPA to step up and play its one-stop shop role.
Area of human capital. I think tomorrow, Wednesday, we inaugurated the boards of ASUBEP and BPSSC, and in the next 2 weeks or thereabout, we'll be recruiting about 4,000 or 5,000 teachers into our schools, just geared towards having the educational system that produces the manpower that is productive here locally and exportable abroad. And so we're firing on all cylinders. As it were, doctors and nurses as well, to end the era of schools without teachers or hospitals without doctors and nurses and so on.
Speaking online, Chairman of the board, Mr. Chike Obi, who recalled that he was a beneficiary of Governor Soludo's big ideas, expressed optimism that the governor will continue to make Anambra a world-class state. He thanked the governor for thinking him fit for the job, assuring of his unalloyed effort and commitment to make the agency a world-class institution. Speaking earlier, the secretary to the state government, Professor Solochukwu Lobelu, said ANSIPA was set up by law in 2014, noting that the governor has decided to position it as a development control agency. Present at the brief event were Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Ernest Ezajoge, Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chumude, her special duties counterpart, Barrister Sly Ezokenwa, among others. From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, AGK Abana, ABS News.
Anambra State government has assured people affected by floods staying at holding centers of prompt and adequate healthcare services. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Afam Obidike, gave the assurance when he led his team from the ministry on an inspection visit to the 2 holding centers quartering Anambra West of flood victims at Crowther Memorial Primary School, Onitsha, and Unity Hall, Umueri. Addressing the people At the holding centers, Dr. Obidike said that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has mandated the ministry to continue on-the-spot assessment of the holding centers with a view to ascertaining their health needs, challenges, and for immediate intervention. The commissioner, on arrival at the holding centers, distributed some cartons of drugs and mosquito-treated nets, noting that the ministry has put in place immediate medical intervention plans for flood victims in the state. He commended the efforts of the Transition Committee Chairman of Anambra West Local Government Area, Mr. Felix Ikechi, for making sure that basic necessities needed in the holding centers were on the ground. Dr. Obidike promised that the government would send in more health personnel to the holding centers in order to ensure that those affected by the flood are adequately taken care of medically. Responding, the Anambra West TC Chairman, Mr. Ikechi, thanked the state government for coming to the rescue of the Anambra West and for the prompt response, and revealed that government has put all logistics in place and equally provided mosquito nets, drugs and medical personnel through the Ministry of Health. One of the people affected by the flood, Mr. Emmanuel Onwati from Igbo-Kenny community, said that virtually all the communities in Anambra West have been submerged, noting that no people will be joining the camp soonest, and thanked the Anambra State government for their quick response. As at the time of filing this report, no fewer than 600 persons are currently being quartered in the two holding centers designated for Anambra West Local Government Area. Residents of Anaka community in Ayamelum Local Government Area have joined other communities in the council area and all the council areas in the state, including Anambra East, Anambra West and Owaru, to cry out and send a Save Our Soul to the Anambra State government on the flood ravaging their community. They are asking the state government for immediate intervention. Correspondent David Ndife filed this report, taken from her.
The President General of ANACO, Mr. Paul Nwuba, told the ABS that the natural disaster has become routine and called for effective solutions to end their bitter experience every year. He appealed to the state government and other agencies to quickly make available speedboats to rescue trapped victims, and also pleaded for the release of relief materials to enable the displaced victims survive the hard times.
In all ways, in all aspects, because our people our people, many are farmers, and their source of income, their source of everything they are doing is from that farm of 18 they are doing. So now the flood has taken over everything. Some borrowed loan, some load money for this for the farming, but now everything has gone. They have lost everything. So the problem that the challenge that we face now is much.
For a community leader, Chief Innocent Onyibo, the flood took them by surprise and submerged their entire farm produce.
It was a mama effect in Bumilia. It was a metemobo. Na jimu maapo med nkenko na ubo. O palvancha. Tupu na ilute body 2 days in jeleba. Kan na bia ozo makana obuli million na bia too much. Ona bia nuhu Bumilia. Kan lu teleba ba bia mo bona milia bu leba nin e ba ni lu mo na ipelo ho olwe obona ogabo luwe na nuhu mo milia obona okoba wa e ba nin iwe mu lili mo abo ovodu kan wo gote ovodu die ba ai metu na ma akwa aka even rice ni leba ngoro nke metula aka.
A secondary school teacher and farmer, Comrade Ogogwa Ikechukwu, who painfully described the flood as devastating, said he had to engage in premature harvesting of his produce to ensure that not everything is destroyed by the flood. He pleaded with Governor Chukwuma Soludo to approach the World Bank and other government-assisted agencies to come to their aid to enable them sustain their living for the while.
See, this is my farmland. The cassava, rice, and the other places, that of yam, it has been submerged. The rate of the flow is too high. So I don't know, and the thing is coming in seconds. The flood was so devastating in the sense that it has reduced the crop yield. As you can see, we have been harvesting unripe and premature produce. So these are the farm produce that we have harvested in few months to come. But right now you can see we are harvesting them prematurely.
Despite being a food basket and headquarters of Oka North local government area, Achala community is still lacking basic infrastructure for improved agricultural practice, social life and others. The President General of Achala Improvement Union, Camry Nnamdi Ikunne, stated this at the 2022 Iwaje Festival organized by Udezu Ayego Village at Amabuegbu Square in the community. Correspondent Joseph Awacha has details.
Comrade Ikunne, who called for government attention to pressing infrastructural needs of the community to enable it to continuously play on parts in ensuring food security, called on people, especially youth, to use the forthcoming 2023 general elections to relaunch the nation on the path of sustainable development by electing people responsive to the yearnings of the masses. He noted that yam, as one of the farm produce, is symbolic in Igbo and Achala culture.
Because na Chineke debe anyị ndụ ka ifo another afọ iweta ihe ubi.
Chairman of Ude's Welfare Association and chairman of the occasion, Mr. Ifeanyi Atuanya, said though some of them live outside their community, they still show interest in agricultural practices in Achala and called for government's attention to the needs of farmers and people of the area, especially by providing farm input and infrastructural development.
Anyị na-agba mbọ ịgụkwa ndị be anyị ka ha tinyesie ike na ọrụ ugbo. Anyị nwere onwe anyị na-agbanyeghị na anyị nọkwa ebe dị iche iche na township. Anyị na-agbakwa mbọ ịnachitekwa azụ na village na-etinyekwa aka n'ọrụ ugbo.
An illustrious son of the community and YPP candidate for Oka North and South Federal Constituency, Honorable Kingsley Yammadu, who described the 2022 festival in the area as unprecedented, historic and landmark, thanked Governor Chukwuma Soludo for the Amansi Obo Family Road project being part of effort to open up the area, adding that more infrastructural development as well as agri-free trade zone is needed to unlock agricultural and economic potential of the community and the entire Oka North.
Awamujibu, one of the things in the Ejimalundi Igbo. I was in a Yawaji, Kenechineke and Diomele, Menaro Galago, where you on your caron kaina by Ekitanua, Comela, Ekalia Kayolia, or if I jueno lebata.
The Secretary General of Alo Achala, the custodian of Achala culture, Mr. Ezewulu Madubeze, spoke on behalf of elders and members of the group at the event held at Amabuegu Village Square, featuring masquerade and different cultural dance displays, and coming on the heels of the declaration of Iwaji Festival opened by the traditional ruler of the community from Achala in Oka North local government area, Joseph.
Ohaneze Ndibo Worldwide has called on Ndibo to support the efforts of building a credible leadership in town unions that will improve the living conditions of Ndibo in Nigeria. The National Vice Chairman of Ohaneze Ndibo Worldwide, Chief Damian Okeke-Ogene, made the call at the 2022 Igbo Day celebration and award ceremony held in Oka. Correspondent Chukwuemeka Modelim was there and reports.
Chief Okeke, while saying that the ceremony was fixed to remember Igbos who were massacred on September 29, 1966, while returning from the northern part of Nigeria, urged Ndibo to come together and reintegrate themselves into Nigeria's system.
It has been a very significant time. It's a time we remember them and pray for them and pray for not to witness such a thing again in our lives. So that's why we are here today, and they use the same opportunity to appreciate some of the Igbo sons and daughters who has been participating in community development.
On his part, the president of Ohaneze Ndibo Worldwide, Anambra State Chapter, Chief Chukwuemeka Udodeme, who lamented that the living condition of Ndibo in Nigeria is pathetic, revealed that the gathering served as the platform for Igbos to properly articulate their collective aspirations in the political leadership of Nigeria, galvanize actions that will advance the Igbo cause within the country. Chief Udodeme urged Anambra State government to intensify efforts in economic empowerment of the youth to arrest their restiveness.
ya benata ya ọnụ na ọ bụrụ na anyị Igbo ga-adị mma ọ ga-ebido n'ezinụlọ so na anyị ga-ebido n'ime onwe anyị na ezinụlọ anyị nyochaa onwe anyị mara ihe ndị Igbo ada emebu anyị bubatasịrị ebe a.
Speaking on the theme of the ceremony, which is Arere Akaria, the position of the Igbo person, a resource person, Engineer Chris Okoye, regretted that since after the Civil War, Igbo people have many defining moments which resulted in lack of economic, social, and political progress in the Southeast. He called on Ndi Igbo to go back to building strong unionism which gave them strength of character and unity in the past, as a lack of the spirit of working together as a people has been the missing link in the efforts of Ndi Igbo to recreate a part in the restoration of its lost glory.
So the Southeast needs to formalize its relationship with the town unions as it has done with the traditional institutions.
A one-time senator that represented Anambra Central Senatorial District, Chief Ben Ndiobi, also attributed the pathetic condition of Ndi Igbo in Nigeria to lack of unity of purpose occasioned by weak leadership and called for the establishment of a strong and respected town unions that will enjoy a lot of goodwill for them to muster support in building a united and progressive Igbo race. In his remark, the managing director of Anambra Broadcasting Service, Sir Chido Obidiegwu, stressed the need for Ndi Igbo to come together to support a presidential candidate of Igbo extraction who will reposition Nigeria and improve their living condition. The occasion climaxed with the presentation of awards to some deserving sons and daughters of Anambra State who have distinguished themselves in their various fields of endeavor and participated in community development. In Oka, Chukwuemeka Modelem, ABS News.
The government of Nigeria and United Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are brainstorming in Abuja on how best to uplift and further strengthen all aspects of the long-standing bilateral cooperation between them for mutual benefits. The Nigeria-Saudi Joint Commission, which the first session held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in March 2013, came into being following the signing of a general agreement for cooperation between the countries on 28 October 2003, aimed at promoting mutually beneficial cooperation for both parties. Princess Ekwi Ajide of our ABS Abuja Bureau filed on this report. Apologies for that mix-up. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has blamed the U.S. and Israel for the protests sweeping the country following the death of a woman whilst in police custody. In his first public comment on the unrest, Mr. Ayatollah said riot had been engineered by Iran's arch-enemies and their allies. The protests are the biggest challenge to his rule for a decade, and he urged security forces to be ready for more. U.S. President Joe Biden said he was gravely concerned about reports of the intensifying violent crackdowns on peaceful protesters. According to him, the protesters were calling for just and universal principles, adding that the U.S. stands with Iranian women who were inspiring the world with their bravery. The UK echoed the sentiment, summoning Iran's most senior diplomat in London to tell the leaders in Tehran that instead of blaming external actors for the unrest, they should take responsibility for their actions and listen to the concerns of their people. In our sports, Super Falcons Joe Asisat Oshola and Christy Ucheibe are set to face off in the 2022-2023 UEFA Women's Champions League group stage. The group stage draw took place on Monday at UEFA's headquarters in Nyon in Switzerland, and Pete Osciola's Barcelona Feminine against Uchebe Benfica side alongside Bayern Munich and Rosengard in Group D. Oshoala also finished a joint top scorer last season in the Spanish Premier Division, the La Liga, the football, with 20 goals as Barcelona Femení won the Spanish title and Copa de la Reina. Oshoala, a goal scorer in the final of the 2018 edition, will be hoping to reclaim the title with Barcelona Femení after losing to Lyon in the final of the 2022 edition. Uchebe has played 2 matches in the second round stage of the Women's Champions League and was a second-half substitute in Benfica's 2-1 home win against Rangers September 28. The 21-year-old Falcon Stars will be aiming to help her team progress to the knockout stage of the competition. Remember that you can follow news on ABS from many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now the main points again. Governor Soludo of Anambra State has inaugurated new bird of Ansipa. Anambra government has assured the people affected by flood of adequate medical services. Nigeria has hosted Nigeria-Saudi Joint Commission in Abuja. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah has blamed external actors for continued protests sweeping across Iran. Here's a special message before we go. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround the maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the tax ahead. And that's it on the news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chidimma Orangwa. Good night.